Kodappa Public School. This is your IT teacher Shishidhar SK. In last class, we were studied about Unit 1 and Unit 2 in Part B, Electronic Spreadsheet and Digital Documentation. In this video, we are going to discuss about third unit, Database Management System. In that, 10th chapter is Concepts of Database Management System. So this is the main important unit because this concept will be continued in your higher classes also. Right? Without wasting much time, we'll begin the session. Begin. Unit 3, Database Management System. In that, chapter 10, Concepts of Database Management System. So here we will go with the introduction part. So what do you mean by data? What is the difference between the data and the information? Let us see that. Data is a raw and unprocessed form of facts and figures which does not have any meaning. Example 3, Suhas 85, 96, 70. What are these? It doesn't have any meaning to this. Right? So when it is organized, when it is processed, then it will get a meaning. That's the information. Information is a processed, organized data and has meaning. It can be easily interpreted also. Right? The example, Suhas has obtained 96, 85 and 70 marks in 3 subjects. When it is organized, then it will get a meaning. That is the difference between the data and the information. The next is database. Database is a collection of data which is stored in a systematic manner. A number of table it contains. In that we are storing our data. Number of tables are stored in a database. And the next is the database management system. DBMS is computerized record keeping system or a software that enables you to create, store, modify and extract information from a database. That means we are storing all the data in database. To manage the data or to manage the tables, we need a software. So this software is helpful to modify or create and store the data in a database. So the example, MS Access is the database management system. Right? Next, database. So database is a collection of data which is stored in systematic manner, and data is stored in the form of tables so that you can retrieve and manipulate the information quickly and efficiently from a large set of data. For example, a huge table, it has 1,000 together records are there. We need to find a specific record at that time. So this database is very helpful, right? And even we can get the data from different tables also by using the primary key and the foreign key. And next, database consists of one or more tables. More than one table also we can create in a database, and that can be related each other according to your requirement. We can do that. And the rows are referred to as records here, and a single record is also known as a tuple. And the next, columns are referred as fields. Here we are naming like columns are fields and the rows are records or tuples. And the next, a database is basically used by, who are the users who are going to use this? First one is a developer who is design the database, who is develop the database, he is the developer. And the next, administrator, he will give the authorization to the users. Right? The unknown person cannot be entered and he cannot be able to access the database which we stored. Right? And such authentications can be done by the administrator. And the last one is end users, a group of people who really use the database which is stored in that according to their requirement, they are going to extract the informations from the database. Those are called as the end users. Next is database management system. The database management system is a computerized record keeping system, right? We are keeping all the records in the database. To manage, we need a software. So that is the database management system, and it allows different user application program to access the same database concurrently. That means we can store the data in a server. We can prepare the application for that. The number of users can able to access the same database at a time. And next, the main function of DBMS is to provide the users with efficient and reliable methods of data storage, modification and retrieval. That means we can get the data from the database which is only required, right? Only one record I can access that, right? And or else different data can be retrieved from the different tables also, right? And the next is data can be organized into two types. One is flat file and relational. In MS Excel also we can store the data. This is also a database, a kind of, right? So here the difference is we cannot create the relationship between the number of tables. The relationship is very important here. When you are making changes, then it should be updated automatically. You can say that in MS Excel also we can create the link between them. But when you are going to retrieve the specific data, it is not available. This feature is not available in Excel. For example, in table 1, rule number, and table 2, from their section I want to retrieve. So this is not possible. We cannot create such queries, but in MS Access we can create such queries. So that is relational database. Data is stored in multiple tables and can be accessed by establishing a relationship between the tables by using the common field. That means foreign key and the primary key. In table 1 and table 2, it should be common field. For example, rule number is the primary key, and table 2 rule number have to be designed. So it is suitable for medium or a large amount of data. In a flat file data, it is suitable for less amount of data, right? The next, let us see what are the advantages of database management system. First one, enforcement of data standards. A database always holds data in a standard format. Like in a tables, a structure we can say, the format we can say, so the naming of data we can say. So that should be defined very correctly. According to that, we can retrieve the data. For example, if you are defining a field, you have to select the data type according to that. In that way, it will make the standardize that, right? And the next, data availability, that you know that anytime, anywhere we can retrieve the data, we can access the database, right? For example, ATM machines, anytime we can go to the ATM machine and we can get the money. All the data is available in the database, and it will check the authentications, right? Then it will allows you to get the money from that. You can easily withdraw your money. The next, reduced data redundancy. Here you can understand that redundancy means duplications. All the information is kept at only one place and shared among the users. Where we are keeping all the data for a database in a server, that is centralized data. All the users are using the database only for accessing that. They are storing the data in a server only. In that way, it is the redundancies can be reduced, duplication can be reduced. There is no need to maintain a separate copy of the same data over and over again. This capability minimizes data duplications and redundancy. And the next one is minimized data inconsistency. When the redundancy is not controlled, right? When the redundancy is not controlled, it leads to data inconsistency. The data consistency occurs when the same data exists in different formats in multiple tables. In your textbook, they have given example for this. They have taken the hospital database. In a single table, they have changed the patient address in a table, and it is not updated in another tables. At that time, management is confused which is the correct address. At that time, it will be we can say this one is as a inconsistency. So this can be reduced. When you are making changes in that table, automatically it should get updated in all the tables which is related to that record, right? And the next is data concurrency. So data concurrency means a user can access and modify the shared data at the same time without violating the data consistency. For this, I'll give the example. The same example I'll take, which is available in your textbook, right? So when you are going to book a ticket, online ticket for a train, the only one seat is available. Arrival and the destination is the same. Only one seat is available in that. More than one or two members are trying to get it. At that time, system should allot to only one person to get the ticket. At that time, so this is the concurrency. Like that it will works, and this is the data concurrency. So without violating the data consistency. The next one, ensure data security. So that database management system provides a security to sensitive data by performing authorization checks and enforcing selective access to the users. So as I said before, only for example a member of only that organization can be able to access their database. Like that we can set the security, and management provides security to sensitive data by performing authorization checks, right? And it will allows the selective users to access the data. For example, in bank we can say, in bank they are all having the database, right? Clerical section employees, they can able to access only the account informations, they cannot update that, but manager has more authentications to manage to those data, and he cannot access the users accounts and his balance, he cannot see that. Like that we can give the authorizations to the particular users. The last one is backup and recovery management. So it is easy to recover the data. Regularly we can take the backups, and when it is corrupted, again we can get the data easily. The recovery management feature recovers the database. Backup management refers to data safety and integrity, and like backing up all the document files on a disk, in a hard disk or a pen drive or a CD, we can keep them safely in a storage devices. Whenever it is required, we can recover the data from those backup files. The next, different types of database management system. Here we have 4 types of database management system. Relational database management system, this is we are going to study. Hierarchical database management system, network database management system, object oriented database management system. So these you are going to understand in the higher classes. For you now we have only relational database management system. The next is the database servers. The database server are based on the client server architecture. The users send their request to the server through an interface known as the front end. So here we can use the two words. One is a front end and another one is a back end. So which the user are using that application is which is visible to the through the monitor, that is called front end. In a back end, it will checks the or it will gives the records. A database is a back end application. We are stored the data in a table. That database is considered as back end softwares. And another server known as the backend process the request and provides the required data, right? And the next is first one, the type relational database management system, RDBMS. A relational model enables the user to store data in several tables, and we can create the relationship between them, and we can able to retrieve the data which is available in those different tables, and it has capability to retrieve data from the different related tables. RDBMS provides the feature to create, update and administer a relational database, and this makes it easy to search and retrieve the data within the database and ensure the data integrity is maintained, right? For example, you are going to check your results which is announced by the CBSE board, and it will shows only your result. It will not shows the all the students results. In that way they can kept integrity, right? And some examples of RDBMS are Oracle 8i, 9i, 10g. So these are the versions, and so these are the different RDBMS, relational database management systems, Access, SQL. So these are the examples for that. And the next is the concepts of keys. Here we have some keys. One is a primary key, composite primary key, foreign key and candidate key. So what do you mean by primary key? So we can set the primary key. What are the rules? It should have unique values. For example, rule number, and it has a unique values. It should not get the repeated values. A primary key is a set of one of more fields that uniquely identifies each record in a table, right? And the composite primary key. So here rule number 1, and again when the section is changed, it will not allow us to repeat the same values in that. If you defined rule number 1 in a once, it will not allow you to repeat the same value again. But in our school, just example, rule number 1 from Amarja, again I have to enter the rule number for Bhima. Then at that time it will not accept. For that we need to composite primary key, we can say that, from Amarja rule number 1, and rule number 1 Bhima, rule number 1 Kaveri. Like that we can combine that. The same combination it will not allows you to repeat. Rule number 1 Amarja, it will not allows you to repeat. Rule number 1 Bhima, it will allows, and again rule number 1 Amarja, it will not allows you to enter, right? The combination of two values will not be repeated. And the next is foreign key. A foreign key is a column whose values match a primary key in another table. So in one table we are defining as a primary key the same field, the common field, in another table it acts as a foreign key, and no need to apply it. So no need to apply in both table as a primary key. When it is relation is created in between those two fields, the one field in one table it acts as a primary key, and in another table that field acts as a foreign key. No need to apply the foreign key anywhere when you are creating the relationship, and it is considered as a foreign key. And the last one is candidate key. A table might have one or more fields that may uniquely identify the records. Such fields are called candidate keys, as they are eligible to become a primary key. For example, in the student table we have roll number. We can apply it as a primary key because it has a unique values. In the same way, we can say we can take the Aadhaar number. So that field also have the unique values. At that time, such fields, number of fields are available, right? And such fields are also called as the candidate key. Among number of candidate key, only one we can make it as a primary key, right? The next is, okay, so this is all about chapter 10, and next we'll begin the chapter 11, creating and using tables. So what are the objects of the database? Tables, right? So tables are the complete data in a structured manner in the form of rows and columns. Every table has a finite number of columns, but it can have infinite rows. Number of records can be stored here. And what are the elements? Fields, records, and the data are the elements of the table. Field means columns of the table, records mean rows of the table, and the data a set of character that represents a valid value is known as the data. Next, queries. So queries are used to ask questions from the database to retrieve records or data based on certain criteria. We can define the criteria. We can give the criteria is nothing but a condition. Now, okay, only one record can be retrieved, or who are scored more than 90%. Such records can be retrieved by using the queries. They are also used to perform actions such as insert, delete, update. So using these queries we can able to add the data and delete the data and update the data. Next, forms. A form has an attractive interface that accepts the data from the user and inserts it in the corresponding table. We can say forms it is used to give the information to the database, a kind of input it is, right? What are the data available in the database, we can extract and we can create the reports. That is, reports are used to display the selected data in a printable formats, right? So next is, okay, next practicals, how to open the MS Access and how it looks, what are the parts of the a window, MS Access window, creating the database, creating table. Again there we have two ways, using design view and another one is using data sheet view. And what are the data types and setting the primary key. So let us see these things practically. Okay, let us see how to open the MS Access. Here I'll search the application. Here I'll take it. So here we need to select blank database. So here we need to define the name for the database. I'll take the file name. I'll define the file name as a student database. Click on create. So click on the create. So here we have option view in this. For that we have two views. One is data sheet view and a design view. In both views we can able to create the tables. The difference is I'll prefer the design view. Easily we can select the data type also there. We need to define the table name. I'll type student info. So this is the table name. Click on OK. So here the first field already it is selected as a primary key. So the data type is auto number. So automatically the number will be inserted automatically. No need to enter it manually. So 1, 2, 3 go on, it will inserts. If you don't want, just you can change the data type by clicking on this arrow, and here you need to enter the number. I'll take, instead of ID, I'll take a rule number. Rule number. So here we got the error. So what it is showing, make sure that the name does not contain a period. That means we cannot give the comma, full stop, right? Such special characters will not be accepted here for the field name. Just remove that full stop. And the data type is, so for the rule number, it contains only the number. So these are data types which is very helpful for applying the validations. For example, rule number, here it will not accept any text here, and it should not accept. If it is accepting, so that data will be invalid. So we can prevent such accepting invalid data. And next is class. Again, I'll take the number for this. Section. For this, I'll take a text. Name of the student. Name of the friend. Father's name. Date of birth. For this, which data type I should select? Date or time. The last one is address, we can say. Here I'll take memo. So what is the difference between the text and memo? So both will accept numbers as well as the alphabets, but the difference is storage capacity. In text it will stores up to 255 characters. In a memo it will stores more than that, more than 65,000 like that. Mainly it is used for designing the comment box, right? And the date or time, it is data type for the selecting any kind of date related to data fields. We can select this type of data type. So next, for primary key, already rule number is set as a primary key. I can remove it also. We can apply it as a classroom as primary key, right? So the suitable to rule number only it is. So that's why I'm going to again applying primary key to the rule number. So once it is finished, we need to save it. Then we can go to the data sheet view. Now we can enter the data. So rule number 1, class 10, section Amarja. So name of the student Anand, father's name Ramesh, date of birth we can select the by clicking on this icon also. So address, anything it will be. So go on, you can enter the data. So this is the way of creating the table using design view. So let us see how to create the table in a data sheet view. So create one more table I'll take. So here it will defaultly it is showing as a data sheet view. So here the ID, you can change the name for this, roll number. The next, class, enter, and when you are selecting this, double click on it and you can able to add the name for the field. And once you added, then you can select the data type which is suitable to that particular field. So text, memo, number, date or time, like that we can select. So for the class I will select the number. And next section, for that again it should be text. Next, student name, just I can click on it. It is already selected, default is text, then no need to change. And next, for the thing, date of birth, enter, and again click on it and change the data type, date or time. And the last one is address. So this is the way of creating the table in design view as well as datasheet view. Okay, so here this is all about chapter 10 and 11. Just go through these videos and practice in your system. The basic things are these, and in the next video let us see the chapter 12 and 13. Thank you.